What's up, SE Nation? Ramsey here. Today I wanted to talk about qualification, or the SE's role in qualifying an opportunity or a deal. But let's step back, and when we talk about a sales cycle, it always starts with a lead. It doesn't matter where it came from a marketing source, a fair, a salesperson knows someone, an SE referred a customer. It doesn't really matter. It always starts with a lead. Let's follow the footsteps of a lead. Generally speaking, let's say it came from a marketing source. It comes in, it goes to an SDR, sales development representative, or a BDR, a business development representative. Did I just say that right? A business development representative, or an inside salesperson, just to keep it simple. From now on, I'm just going to use the term SDR. So the SDR's job is to qualify a deal. And if it's small enough, they can even run with it and try to close it. If the deal is big, they're supposed to qualify it before they pass it on to the sales team. And there are, generally speaking, multiple ways to qualify a deal. You may have heard of the term BANT or MEDIC, although MEDIC could be a sales methodology as well. But let's talk about BANT first. BANT is an acronym that stands for budget, authority, need, and timeline or timing, whatever you want to use there, as long as it starts with a T. MEDIC stands for metrics, economical buyer, decision criteria, decision process. There's another E in there, I, MEDIC, identifying pain, and champion, MEDIC. That's a long one. So as some of you may know, I'm a hybrid personality. So I do both sales and sales engineering. So sometimes I receive a lead from SDR and I jump on a call and none of that is done. Now I know enough to ask the SDR beforehand, is any of that done? And the answer is usually no. Now, I understand MEDIC might be too complicated and some customers are too sensitive to talk about budget and timing from the first call. So I understand that it is hard, and in most cases, the SDRs that I've worked with are new to the role or they're junior. And I realize there are some experienced SDRs out there. That's great. So what ends up happening is the SDR sets up a call with the account manager and the customer. The customer is unqualified. And in some cases, salespeople also invite their SEs to the meeting, and in some cases they don't. And when they don't, they generally set up another call where the SE is involved either for a discovery or demo directly. And that's when you hear a lot about SEs complaining that they traveled around the country when travel was allowed.
All right, now everybody, get in crash position.
So that is how it affects the SE negatively. I mean, people talk about like, hey, why are you complaining? Is just go qualify the deal. Sometimes SEs are overbooked, overloaded. They just don't have time to jump on every call. And if they're going to jump on and do a qualification, that's not really the best use of their time when they could be doing something else. Now, if you do have time, by all means, jump on the call. It could be very educational to see how customers interact with salespeople early on in the sales cycle. Now, let's say you're busy, which most cases SEs are busy. You don't want to jump on every single call. You are going to have to pick and choose. And the best way to do that is to actually qualify the salesperson about the opportunity. And how do you do that? Well, if you notice yourself asking the same questions over and over to the salesperson, or you can talk to your colleagues who are in the same boat, who also have their own set of questions. You can come up with a checklist, a questionnaire, and you ask the salesperson, hey, please answer these questions before I jump on a call. Some of these questions are, do they have a budget? Who are we meeting with and what do they care about? What are the biggest challenges that they mentioned or the business problems that they're trying to solve? What are they doing today to solve that business problem, if anything? What change that they want to talk to us now? When are they looking to implement? And have they talked to any other vendors? Salespeople might not be able to answer all these questions, but at least it gets a conversation started. There are some basic questions that you need answered. Like, do they have budget? That's a simple question. And you can choose to go or not to go after they answer the question, no matter what the answer is. And keep in mind that this is like not an extensive list of questions. It was just 7 questions. And one answer can lead to more questions. That's how I do the entire podcast, which, by the way, I run a podcast called We the Sales Engineers. You should check it out. And you can also like and share and subscribe and do all that since you're doing that anyways. Sometimes if you skip that and maybe you ask these questions and then you go and meet the customer. The term that I love the most, the quote, is trust but verify. I used to work in support, and although I believe the customers knew what they were talking about, I always verified what they were talking about it. And more often than not, they were wrong.
It's an urban legend that never happened.
And in this case, you're asking a salesperson. So you need to trust the salesperson, but also verify. Salespeople are not very technical, so they might have incorrect information. I was given information early on in my career where they said the customer wants to virtualize over ESXi and they want to see how that process goes. And I walked into the demo and it turns out they want KVM. But if you're jumping on a call and the customer said, I want product B, you don't have to jump in and assume that they're right. You need to go through the qualification process. I recently just jumped on a call with a salesperson and another SE. And the call was set up by an inside salesperson. The customer said he wanted product B, and the SE that I was with, who was the expert on that product, just jumped in and started talking specifically about that product. And at which point I had to get control back of the opportunity of the discussion and bring it back and talk about the needs. What are they doing today? What are the requirements? Because maybe product B isn't even the right product for them, and it almost wasn't. It turned out it was in the end, but just narrowly. So what does that mean? It means that sometimes we jump on calls that are not qualified as sales engineers, and at which point we're going to have to do the qualification ourselves. It would most likely be combined with an actual discovery, but it would be nice to qualify in or out early on in the call and just tell them that, thank you, I don't think this will work, or dig in deeper and try to figure out if there is a way to make it work. But if your cheapest solution is $1 million and they're asking for a $5,000 budget from their boss, it's not going to work. For simple transactional deals, it could be combined. A qualification call with a demo and discovery could be combined. But if it's a complicated solution, then you might have 3 or 4 discovery sessions, 3 or 4 demo sessions, whatever the number is, that will go through. So it's important to qualify early on. In every opportunity, when you talk to the customer, is a qualification. You're trying to make sure that they're still qualified, or you qualify yourself up, because you do not want to spend weeks or months working on an opportunity that in the end is not even qualified. So bottom line, SEs have to do basic qualification. Whether we like it or not is just a fact of the matter. Salespeople don't always do it. Inside sales don't always do it. So we might have to do it whenever we meet the customer. It's not fun. We didn't sign up for it, but we better get better at it so that we can save ourselves some time, and also, well, we won't get all the credit, but you can try. Anyways, summary, trust, but verify, and that's it for me. I will see you later.